Yo, check me out, I'm Elder B. It's Sunday. Weekend is coming to a close, unfortunately for some of you. For me, I was working Friday, Saturday, so no streams, unfortunately. But here we are. Kerbal Space Sundays is day 3 in our career, which sounds silly, but it's true. Third day we're playing. Today, we're gonna mess around with planes a little bit more, embarrass myself and whatnot. But more importantly, as it says on your screen there, we're going to the moon! Or at least we're going to make an attempt to. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're not that bad at this game that we can't go further up than the ups that we've already achieved to go up. So we'll give it a shot. We'll head to the moon. I don't think we have a capsule that can take 2 Kerbals, so we'll have to kind of pack up the experiments on it a little bit. Kind of pack them in there so we don't have to reset and do all that good stuff. Get a bunch of science, bring it back, and then hopefully use that science to make plane stuff happen. But we'll see what happens. Gore, what's up, man? Wow, on the dot. Yeah, we try to be. You know, try to run a tight ship around here. It's coming back down. That's the main issue. You always come back down. It's just how you make that happen. Tea of the evening is Fireside Vanilla Spice. It's time for Kerbal Space Program. I feel like I haven't played anything in forever, which is silly to say, but just being working Friday, Saturday. I left Friday morning, came back late last night. Yes, should have prefaced live in that comment. Okay, yeah, we have a space for 1. We could do the Mark 1 and take our scientist up with us so we could reset, but I'm not going to do that. I don't think... This was kind of a junk ship, right? Yeah, it was, because I was using the 400 tanks. So these guys, you know, you take 2 400s are the exact same thing as 1 800, and right now we're limited to 30 parts. So that is going to cause an issue with this thing. So that's fine. We'll make it happen. I was going to say I might start from scratch, but I mean, it's going to not take any time at all to just ditch these parts out. Okay, that's essentially where we were there. That's our swivel, right? And then we did our reliance on the outside tanks. Let's just grab that off. Get our couplers. Score, how's it going, man? How you been doing? Is that the only decoupler we have? Why are we so science poor? I feel like we should have been further along than we are. Oh, it's because I was messing with nonsense planes that I was unable to actually make do, you know, flying things. Let's do a Mooner orbiter, which that's extremely original of you to have the description and the title be the exact same thing. Well done, good sir. Well done. Let's see if we remember how to play this game. Alright, we're going to do both sides. Make sure those are on the decoupler. They are. Pretty sure we needed 5400 delta V, if I remember right, to get to the moon. So, we're going to obviously need to stack up some... Oh, I don't even have engines here. Like, that's not enough power. Slightly better. Yeah, usually, you know, kind of before... Man, all that gas only adds 400? That's kind of crazy. What do we have? Oh, that's why. This is still set up for orbiting and not shipping. I usually feel a little more well-practiced, if you will, because leading up to Kerbal Space Sundays, I've been playing, you know, kind of off-stream and had time to make goofy mistakes and such. I think I almost need to do these in triple. Let me see if we can arrange this somewhat interesting looking. I don't know how that's going to work with these. These might clip and do stupid stuff, but Yeah, usually I'm doing the missions kind of during the day, if you will, to be... We'll call it less garbage, I guess. It would come evening time. I don't think we're we're definitely not accomplished Kerbonauts. Kerbonauts? Okay. Yeah, we need kind of a lunar orbital stage, which is going to make this slightly unwieldy. That's funny. You lose 4 delta V then. I don't think these are staged properly either. That's going to give us a better indication there. Gas. There we go. $3,700. Yeah, so we need our top stage, or our 3rd stage, I guess, would be. I don't think that's quite gonna cut it. This is gonna be very top heavy, I think, too. Wonder if I should go C. Interior should be fine. And then we'll need another decoupler here. Should go see if I can acquire some better technologies, some better goodies. Okay, so that's gonna separate. So we can separate and get our thrust on at the same time. You know what? I've got to consult the chart. We've got to go take a peek because I don't know. All I really care about on this run tonight is just to do an orbit of the moon, because I think that's all that contract calls for. I'm not going to plan a landing on it, at least not at the moment. Okay, so 1170. So bare minimum delta V 4570. What's this bad boy got? 3315. I mean, I guess if we tone this guy down, that's probably just gonna turn it down, won't it? Yeah. We don't really need to do that since we can throttle it. Not really worried about that. I'm kind of curious to see what the shortcomings of this bad boy are, and just launch as is, and we get to where we get to. I think that's the move. This number, and this is already mad at me. What do you want? 35 parts. Okay, I still haven't solved that problem. That's the issue. Alright, let's save this and go peek on how much it's going to cost to get our assembly building upgraded. Or left click it and go directly back into it. It's better if you do what you say you're going to do. 225. Okay, so we're definitely not there yet. It's a bummer because I think if we do our plane and do some science around, we'll be able to unlock some better goods. We might already be there. Yeah, we're not quite there. Yeah, here's what we want. The skipper is a beast. So we need 24.5 science to be able to get into some stuff. I probably don't need this. You know what? I just realized my mistake. We can solid rocket boost the outside, and that's gonna reduce weight. It's gonna enhance. Won't those fuel lines cause issue in stage and release? They don't. The game is smart enough, luckily, that these kind of just like cease to exist, I guess, when you stage. It's not really like a structural thing. Now, and I don't think I've got them yet. Yeah, I don't have struts yet, but if you're familiar with the game at all, you know what I'm talking about. But if not, a strut is basically this, but it's just like a white cord, and that's structural. And even those will separate with staging. So they did a good job. They knew what our crazy brains were going to come up with. All right, so this is all good as far as that's concerned. However, I don't know why I didn't consider doing some solid boys. This will... Okay, I thought it was going to vastly... Well, here we go. No, still? I was going to say, we'll vastly increase our delta V, but actually I don't even think we need quite that much. Yeah, I'm still of the mindset that we're going to give this a go. Obviously, it's not going to be crazy successful because this number is wildly lacking. And I'm pretty sure... yeah, here we go. Because, you know, this is like the average, right? And you're at sea level, so 2747. If we could launch this thing from space, it's got just enough delta V to do what it's supposed to do. So I know there's better like programs for this and stuff that will kind of like model this for you. But the fact that if you could get this thing up to 15K, we're already good. So I think it's going to be all right. I know there's going to be numbers that the more we play this, we'll kind of like see these and be able to equate that to performance. But my inexperience is just not allowing us to do that. Okay, we've limited this. That's a mini cone. Give me the good cone. Yeah, I'd want to strut up here, especially if we were any larger of a craft. I still am kind of surprised how light in thrust this thing really is. I wonder if it's the Terrier that kind of bombs that out. I don't really want to put like... What do we got on thuds? 120 in vacuum. That's twice as... And they're not quite twice as heavy. So maybe... Instead of this guy... Maybe we'll crack some thuds onto it. Let's kind of put it off. That's going to be a little wonky, but I don't really want it to clip into it just for aesthetic's sake. Okay, well it still is going to. Did that absolutely... No, it was like 27 before. So hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. I don't think it will, but we'll see. Luckily we've bailed on our no revert. The other thing I can do is throw another 800 tank right here. But since the solids aren't going to utilize like we were with the liquid fuel, I don't think that's going to benefit us a whole lot. Kind of debating that, but what do we got part-wise? We're right at 30 right now, so this is all she wrote. Now, does this accomplish everything that we want? Stage and lose the boosters, drop that. Fire the thuds, drop it all. Drogues, main shoot. And I think we're kind of overkilling it with the 3, because I'm pretty sure we've scienced everywhere. I think we can do like a high lunar orbit and then a low lunar orbit. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Much like our playthroughs on this, we'll do it live. Yeah, I think we're ready for this attempt here. It's funny because this how simple of a rocket this is. And when I was just loading in for this tonight, I saw my previous save where we have over $1 million. I have like 700 science, like 15 launches, and I was like, man, if only you remembered how to do all that stuff. All right, Jeb, my boy. It's nighttime. Don't be scared. If we blow up, don't worry. You're going to revert. Let's go to the moon. Okay, solid fuel's draining a little faster than I would have liked, so I probably could limit that a little bit more, but I think it'll be okay. A little preemptive in the tip, but I don't want to lose kind of the momentum from the solids. Realistically, I probably should stage those on like the north-south bit, because this might potentially kind of crack back into the craft, but we'll see. Can we do that? Can we call it the craft now? Yeah, those could have been limited a lot more. Those are going to burn out much more preemptively than I care for them to, but we'll see. We'll see what we make happen. It's good apoapsis. Okay, good. Those separated very nicely. No, this is this is not going to get us anywhere close to the moon. That's all right. We'll keep it rolling. All right, there's 100,000 on the apoapsis. Now we'll just cruise it on out until we get out of the atmosphere and then burn when we get up there. I meant to put the reaction wheel. Did I do that on this one? No, I don't think I did. All right, I also should have waited until this was in a better spot, so we could have just done this in one shot. You know, if the moon was over here, that would have been a better thing. So this, all in all, is not going to be successful, but I'm just curious to see what kind of delta V we need. We got 1,800 remaining. Yeah, we can't even make it back with this craft currently. Now that's going to change here in a second. Nah, okay. That's accurate as is now. Yeah, that's crazy to me. That wasn't the best, you know, you can kind of see how steep this is, right? That wasn't the best in terms of the launch. But I didn't expect it to be quite that terrible. We are going to redo this one. So there's an encounter there. No, it's not. It's just bye. Leaving Kerbal. Why are you being all oh, because I haven't circularized, that's why. Alright, let's go back. There's a couple issues here, right? We essentially need more. These can come down quite a bit, actually. Probably even less than that, but I think we'll roll with that for now. I wish I could steer a little better. I'm kind of inclined to throw that in between those so I can kind of steer it without relying on the swivel so much. These obviously don't provide any steering. Still the potential for an orbit slingshot and grav capture. Like I said, if I would have waited until the moon was opposite, I probably could, yeah, just kind of head that way. 24, 30. Yeah, because this tank, being the only tank for the thuds, is probably not great either. That's not even a good... Those aren't good engines for this. I just was going based on the thrust, really. And we're max on parts, yeah? Yeah, okay. This kind of feels... I'm going to flip this bad boy just so we can... Well, they separated fine. We'll leave it as is. The other thing I could do is go down... No, I don't really want to... I don't want to reduce those. I was going to say we could go down to 1 each and just do a lunar orbit. Hang on 1 second. Let's... I think I could do it from there. I don't think I needed to actually exit the assembly building there, but... Explore the moon. Pass by it. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Now sign this waiver. See, that only gets us to 64. We need a lots of cash to be able to do the kind of stuff we're thinking about doing. That's alright. Well, I mean, we're not going to not take that contract. We just have the one anyway. But these focus observations, that's the way, you know, 20 grand. And you just have to fly over those points and do a crew report. So that's how we're going to get the money for the vehicle assembly building. And I think we just need to do this moon flyby. And get the retractable gear. And that'll at least make me feel better about crashing my plane into the runway over and over again. And I think that's doable. So I think we're on the right path. I think it's just going to be a little obnoxious for me trying this over and over again. But we're not going to just incessantly do that. Like, if this doesn't look like it's going to work, which I'm kind of hesitant to even give it another try. But we're going to. We're going to give it another shot. I don't think I've got enough. I really don't. So let's crack these down by 1. That gives us 3 more parts. I can slap another tank in the final stage here. I think that's what I'm going to do. It was pretty stable. It was pretty stable as far as the craft went. Like I said, we're going with the craft. Okay, grab those, got those. And we can put, well, those in the way, so we'll just go on the outside here. Provided we look good. Yeah, that'll do. Those mirroring each other and being like, you know, the bottom starting on that spot instead of being... Yeah, how nitpicky is this? Like, who cares? But like, oh, those don't look right. Must move. Okay, so now we're down to 20 art parts, yeah? 27? We actually don't need that much of a reduction, but... I'm going to start with a 4, just so we're not crazy long. That number looks a lot better, too. Man, this thing is nasty looking. You know what I have to do also? We've got to do this. I don't know why I didn't go the other way. Where's our coupler? There we go. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. It's still goofy, but, it, you know, at least it's less goofy. Oh, this thing is gross. Alright. Staging. Got it. Let's go. Where do we kick these down? 60? Yeah, I think that'll be a lot better. This is, you know, just having all that fuel in the... when we're out of the atmosphere, I think is going to make, honestly, the difference. Let's go find out. Yeah, we need science to build plane, to get money, to build better stuff to go get science. All right, I think actually that was a product of the solid boosters though. I was going to say it was a little too aggressive on the ascent to begin with, but I really think the limiter on this is going to take care of a lot of that. Listen to me act like I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so realistically, I kind of said it was too aggressive of a lean, but I think it actually was a little too conservative based on that apoapsis. Just here for the boom. We'll let the boom happen. I won't revert prior to a boom taking place, but the boom effects will not carry on with us. We will quickly say goodbye to those. Yeah, I don't know why I'm like letting this just burn itself up here. We know that's unnecessary. I think about 700 when you're in atmosphere is like kind of the max you want it to go. Yeah, see, we've already torched all the fuel in this, in the first, or I guess it's technically the second stage here. So we'll kick that off. Yeah, honestly, the smarter thing to do would be to not do what I keep trying to do and just wait for that straight on moon encounter. So it literally needs to be like here. Let's take a look, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be looking at a similar situation. I've got 1850 delta V left, and that's kind of what this needed, realistic. Yeah. Okay, I think it's time to stop attempting this. I already need too much, even just to get an encounter there. Which that would have done it, right? Like that would have fulfilled the contract. I mean, we didn't even need anything crazy. And as long as I could tuck this back in, kind of burn... Let's see, what would that be if we're heading this way? Radial in. That would have forced periaps, and we could have air braked and called that a wrap. I don't think we can, but just in case, let's see. Can we get anything out of this trip? Ooh, 25 science. What did we need? 24 and a half? So realistic, getting that home is science complete. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll make a mission out of this, just because if we don't, we're just going up and down for no reason. I think all this stuff is done, though. Okay, we get a little bit out of it. Nothing out of the temperature. I don't think pressure. I don't think we're going to get anything out of it either now. But that Science Junior is more than enough reason to just take it. Take the money and run. This is expensive, though. So, one more time. One more suffer. This is already saved. Let's get the orbiter back up. See, this has 4,500 meters per second. Where is it just... where did I go wrong on the other one? How did I end up with less when I started tinkering? This is all I need. This might be able to do... I don't even know what I did differently. I swapped out the 400s for 800s. Did I add more? I think I added more unnecessarily. So this is super inefficient, right? Because we've got 30 parts out of 30. But the 400s and the 800s, if you do two 400s and one 800, it's the same weight. So 225, it's going to be 4.5 if you do an 800. So that's the same. It's just part count. This really just does add it, just kind of feeding that tank off there. So, oh, okay, all right. I'm kind of tempted to give them a little bit of thrust limit, just so we're... I mean, that always shows you less, right? Yeah. Okay. We're going to try to go with this bad boy and see what's what. Kick those off the side. Yeah, I don't even have a third stage for this one, and that's technically all we needed. We can just get into orbit, grab the Science Junior, and then see how that looks. Worst case, and actually I guess it's technically best case, we'll see if this can get us to the moon. So I'm gonna let it lapse here, time-wise. Let's get it, oop, clicking out of the window here. Where is she? She's over there. Let's just kind of get her in this region, which might take a minute. Sorry, Jeb. I kind of forgot about, you know, orbits aren't just one way there. I think that'll do us. I think it's kind of like you want to kind of peek, and if you can get it over the kind of the horizon of the planet, then you're in good shape. Let's see if I'm just making stuff up or if that's the truth. Here we go. Yeah, this thing is much lighter for sure. I'm gonna act like I'm a super pro at this, and we're gonna see. Okay, now it's kind of spinning out of control here. I'm like fighting it back and forth. I'm gonna see if I can get this to do it in a straight shot. Okay, that's exciting. Let's see if you can fix yourself. I really don't think you're going to. Can we get anything out of this trip? Yeah, why not? Okay, let's see what we can do here. Get as much as we can. We better stage all this stuff out of here, though. Already on the way down. I don't think goo is going to do us any good. A little bit. Every little bit helps. No pressure data. Interesting maneuver. Yeah, when in doubt, just throw everything in the ocean. Future Kerbal scientists will deal with the fallout of that. I really didn't need to put the drogues out, but... yeah, I know. Physics are nonsense. Ocean is NASA's landing pad or their garbage disposal. If I can't see it, it doesn't exist. At least, yeah, we can drop that too. It's not going to be that hot here. At least the thought was, you know, if you're going to blow up over the ocean, but all the recovery sites are not on the water. Well, not all of them. That's not accurate. The majority, we'll say. And the secondary launch pads and stuff like that. That's right, we have that. I don't know. We'll try to do some science in the water. I'm nearly positive we've already done this. Was there? I think that the intent was a P there, but I enjoyed the was there a lot more. Okay, well, if you don't put your main chute out, then you're going to splash into the water, and Jeb is going to drown. So there's that. We'll try this one more time. What's up, Sid? How's it going, man? Thanks for coming in. So, maintaining focus is an important part of not dying. We also didn't need to orbit like 17 times like I did. Meow. It's all my fault. Yeah, welcome in, Sid. Thanks a lot for coming in tonight, bud. I needed a scapegoat, so I appreciate you being the sacrificial lamb on that one. Clearly, it's not my ability or experience with this game. There's a button for sunrise. Yes, there is. Warp to sunrise. So what's funny is I wasn't shooting for sunrise, technically. So yeah, I think we're just after noonish. Yeah, what my attempt here is, and my feeble understanding, was just to make it so I can, in one prograde burn here, make it out to the moon. Because I'm not built a decent rocket. So that's what we're attempting here with that little time warp. I think I need to throttle this back and kind of let it get out of the atmosphere a little bit. I think I'm tilting over too quickly and kind of catching all the wind resistance there. I don't know if that's how that works, but go off. You know what? You're questioning it? I don't know if that's how it works either. Yeah, I think you can get an encounter. Bear with me now. You can get an encounter if you've positioned it just the right way. Obviously, Minimus, that doesn't work because of the inclination, but... Listen to me, act like I know what I'm talking about. So, Sid, since that's the only thing I can blame on you, which, you know, is still inaccurate, but just before this, me fiddling around with a 30-part cap in the assembly building has stuck me to where I'm battling my abilities and what I've got to get to the Delta V. Certain time frame, I think, where if you start your orbit at it, you end up using less fuel, but it's super hard to do. Yeah, I know it's not... it's definitely not within my skill set. But we're kind of right on the cusp of being able to unlock some more goodies. And I can grab those even just in like a suborbital trajectory here. Yeah, see, I'm going to be too shy on any of this to be able to do this. See, this is what I was shooting for. There we go. So I could have done it. I have no idea how that all works. I've just heard about it. Yeah, this is essentially what I was looking for, right? It's just past Apoapsis there. But I just needed an encounter so I could hit some experiments, come back, and then when we end up at the top, just kind of prograde burn, drop this into some air braking and be good to go. I'm still not doing an efficient enough ascent. You know, I'm almost there, right? Like, that's pretty close. I might even be able to risk this, quite honestly. I don't know if I can tuck this in quite enough to make this a smart move even. let's see. Let's play with this a bit. Because we're kind of just passing by it, right? But if, as long as we get in the sphere of influence of it... Oh, of course you had to mess with it. We'll be able to hit those experiments, get the achievement done, and get a bunch of science out of it. That's a quick time, though. Let me tab, right? Oh, of course. Alright, so... what was our time? Encounter in 7 days and 1 hour. I think that's showing me 2, and I can't really get focused on the 1. There we go. And then in a day. Okay. Let's try it. Let's give it a shot. Let me get focused. What was the... There was a focus on your ship button, but instead I'm going to bounce all over and make it look crazy. Okay. How much time have I wasted too? We're already there. This isn't going to work. Not only have I not finessed this enough, but we need 33, or we'll only have, rather, 33 meters per second. So this isn't going to go the way I think it is. What are we already at, also? Yeah, I don't know how that... Oh, that's why it went all crazy. Because we're literally burning into the ocean right now. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Flip this bad boy back prograde. Let's go and get our science. We would have been able to do this before if I would have paid attention to the chutes. Oh, I'm hitting shift. Who's not very good at the game, especially tonight. Alright, we're going to slow this a little bit. Don't need to go bombing into the atmosphere here. I already missed it, but we got the 25 science from the Science Junior. I'm trying to peek up here. That's going to be used already, isn't it? 2.1. I don't think that's going to give us anything, and I don't think pressure either. No, okay. So we'll have to remember to do that. I think we've already got them in the ocean as well. But we'll take a peek and see what's what. Hey, Sid, I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Are you sure? Don't worry, they're free and you can take them back whenever you want. I haven't been paying attention to what's going on here at all. I mean, obviously we're going down. There's nothing you can do about that. We're still descending. Let's just ditch the stage now. Sure, we'll go with that. We're on this like very odd... Like you were going this way, but then you've burned so much you're going the other way. Hopefully the Island Airfield boys can launch a rescue for us. Yeah, we can ditch that. We don't need to see that. I think we're going to be in trouble just on the fact that the speed is going to be too much. Okay. Atmosphere thickening, speed slowing. See, this was the plan all along. Now, don't forget the main chute. I don't think we... Okay. Over the water. I was going to save that potentially for splashing down, but that'll do just fine. Just like ignore the warnings, and then I'm like, yeah, I know. And then we get to do this exact same launch for like the 15th time tonight. We're not going to. That's not going to happen. I don't think I have surface sample yet. And if I do, or don't rather, that might be the thing to do, and then we can go rover around and get that. But this is going to get us the science we need about, I think, to hit the heavy rocketry. And then we'll have Delta V, no problem. Well, no problem for somebody who knows what they're doing anyway. It's funny because 27 meters per second looks like so pleasant until it doesn't. That was cutting it a touch too close. for my liking. Big rockets for moon. Sid, I know you're new here, but I'm not very good at this game. Yeah, yeah, I've limited by the parts. I don't really care if I don't need to blast that off. The parts, 30 parts, which I know, right, is probably more than enough for anybody who's even remotely good at this to get to the moon. But for me, it's not. So I'm going to try to do more parts. Yeah, like I said, you can take that follow back. I'll show you what I've got in the build. And you can judge from there. So this failure of a mission is still going to be successful here. I don't know if I caught it enough. Yeah, okay. So we got over what we needed for the big stuff. So, Sid, let me give you the ship tour, if you will. You can do it. I don't know if bigger rocket makes it necessarily easier though. More boosters, man. Isn't that the whole thing? So this is the bad boy that just went to get into orbit. Successfully so. And then I had put together this bad boy. And before I was liquid and then had the fuel transfer over with a swivel and whatever these guys are called. The Reliance on the outside. But that just didn't quite do the trick. 2 words, Terrier engine. So I had the Terrier on there before. This is like the 3rd iteration of me slapping some stuff together. I only had a 400 tank on it, so I just don't think there was enough there. And you might be right. Now that I've done this, let's just take a look at numbers again here. I had 4,200 there. If we slap the Terrier on the bottom of that bad boy, 52. Okay, yeah. So I think what had happened was I got so... like I was doing different iterations and not thinking backwards. Like after I added that 2nd tank, I probably should have Terriered up. The Terrier, keep in mind, only works good if you are actually in space with it. Yeah, which this setup should, you know, be well... We'll start kind of the encounter maneuver with the 2nd stage, blast that bad boy off, and then the Terrier will be there. So, yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for that. Helps recage my brain. I also like the hesitation. You weren't just like, put a Terrier on there, stupid. I don't think I have any rules about backseat gaming, and I don't really intend to unless it's like a story driven with spoilers, though. You see the triangle? Yeah, Delta V. Yeah, familiar with that there. Yeah, and you can set this bad boy into look at what different stage is going to give you what. When I say familiar, it's not like I'm an expert with it. Icon on the bottom left, awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's just, I'm always keeping my eye on that one, which now I know that's set to sea level, so that's not indicative. Okay, I think we're good to try one more, because I'm glad we've had this pep talk, because I'd rather use that science that we've just acquired for more plain nonsense for me to fail at that also. Now with this, I feel fairly confident in circularizing. Maybe. I kind of want to go back to liquid tanks. We'll give it a shot. I don't think I'm going to have quite what I need, though, for my launch prowess, we'll call it. I think this was a lot more stable with the solid rocket boosters too than the Reliance on the outside of it. Yeah, the solids are doing all the work on it. It didn't really matter to throttle down the swivel too much. I love how the Delta V is just like, okay, well you're higher, so this is going to work better, but also you have less fuel, so it just click, 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 click. I feel like they could have smoothed out that calculation display a little better. Keep that a little lower, conserve some gas. Should be doable. Landing and returning, though, with 30 parts could be crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, this is a return to this game after I don't know how long. Now, based on my save file's name of my last playthrough, it's only been a couple years, but you would think that I haven't played this game in, like, ever. In ever, Jerry. In ever. And that's okay. Because we've got the... Well, that's not okay. Why is that so far off? That's fine. That's good enough. Let's get pointed at our maneuver here. So we don't have much time before we need to hit that burn. Yeah, I probably should have put the reaction wheel in there just to be able to move this bad boy a little better. Come on, you can do this. Alright, there's our halfway. Come on, little terrier, you can do it. Yeah, that was another pretty steep ascent. So I probably could have throttled the solid rocket boosters down quite a bit more. It's fighting me both ways. What are we looking? Okay. I don't think I realized that old Jeb had the ability to track those bad boys, but... Yeah, good call, man. That terrier is obviously way more efficient. Up here... I seem to remember landing with the terrier a lot. Twitch check-in. Appreciate you. You old swapperoonie, you. I'm kind of blowing it with the maneuver node creeping away there, though. I wasn't even paying attention to it. Yeah, pushing that up at this inefficient maneuver is the downfall here for sure. Good enough. All right, probably one more turn around here. Let's not get too crazy. I imagine. You know what I haven't been doing either? That'll help. Set the old target. There we go, creep those guys in. So 800 to get there. But then you're going to fling me off into nowhere. I suppose you're going to do that regardless though, huh? Yeah, there we go. That's more what I'm looking at. I'd rather tuck that in. 800, just about half. So you figure when we end up at the apoapsis, I can just tuck this in and we'll air brake. And if that's all we need to do, that's all we'll do. But otherwise I can kind of just burn if I've got anything left and bring the other side in and kind of get us sped up, I guess, technically. Okay, I'm already way past this, so this is probably going to be unsuccessful. Let's just clear that because it's not really going to do us any good. That's funny. My ascent was so poor. We lost 0.3 degrees on it. All we're looking for is close. If we can get close, that's my milestone. Oh, speed record, that's funny. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, I just did it. Okay. Yeah, we should just need 200 meters per second. It's not right the first time. Try making a note on the line halfway there. That's a smart idea, yeah, and radial in and try and correct for it. I mean, realistically, all I care about is this. Like, that's already good enough. We don't screw up our orbit too bad. 314 is good. We've got a decent amount of time to encounter and do the experiments. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. This orbit's not too crazy. We can just pull this back in when we get up here. Let's make our node here. I know that's going to like recalculate and do all sorts of craziness. I didn't know that my mouse was on the node, so I just wheeled it in and it was like, oh, okay, here's your adjustment. This is what you wanted, right? I don't know if it's a mod or if you just get it later where you're able to pull... Nope, never mind. Okay. Yeah, where you're able to pull the points. Because let's just tuck that... Oh, that is very touchy, though. That's not ideal. Okay. Lets you fine-tune that a little bit. Oh yeah, that takes nothing. Okay. Yeah, I know, I see what you mean with landing being no issue. Let me just out of curiosity. Well, where's the old moon? There she is. What would it take to get an orbit on it? Okay, 300. This is obviously a garbage encounter too. I'm just really doing this to be safe. Bored. Nobody wants you to watch you be safe. Do some craziness. Blow stuff up. Plain time. Plain time will be nonsense. I'm gonna leave that there. And then when we get... I don't know. It's fine. It takes such little delta V to really make this happen up here that it doesn't really matter one way or another. Okay, let's get over here. I can't help but consider... You know, obviously I could have had an 800 and that'll give me another part, but I'm sitting here just thinking about our part count, which is, it seems like I never had to worry about that before. Basically at this point you have tons of fuel. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm kind of weighing out, right? Is that like, I could have slowed down and we would have had about 500 left, and then landing is probably another 300 to 400. So this is probably pretty close to a lander of some flavor. But for me, I gotta play more, you know? I don't mean like, you know, the game. I mean like mess around more. I'm just gonna tack all this stuff because I think we'll be able to do high orbit and then kind of the lower pass. What I should do, honestly, the Science Junior will be able to tack, so I don't need to do that. I should have pulled this in a lot more, so we could have done like a different aspect of it. But I think this is going to count for all the goods. So let's cut to the chase. Oh yeah, okay, I see. I didn't even nearly burn enough. That's why. I think I was so concerned about what the circularization looked like over there. I probably, well, I would have had to do it over here. I was about to say I could have radialed and made this all crazy, but that's all right. mess of a display here. There she is. Probably should have done Minimus first. But I know that's not like the progression of the game with the contracts and such. Okay. So, the old sphere of influence of the moon. We're getting our contract complete. Yeah, in space high over. So this is okay though. Actually, this is a good first one to do because we'll grab all this up, we'll head back, and then next mission focus is to not be garbage and get into an actual orbit around the moon. And then probably, I imagine, we'll, as we do an orbit around the moon, we'll land as well. Get our Science Junior. This should be a pretty good one. 50 indeed. So that one's set, and then these guys are good. Let's get our crew reports. Jeb, get your butt outside. Grab the old EVA report. And yeah, that'll do. We can close this up. There's no reason not to now that we have our pins. I don't think... Yeah, we're not going to lose a whole lot, at least in terms of which section of orbit over the moon will be. So I think that's really going to do us. Might as well say goodbye to it. Goodbye, moon. I'd say see you soon, but without Gore sassing me and Sid setting me straight, we probably wouldn't even have gotten here. Not as quickly as we did anyway. Alright. So this was just to air brake us, but that's really nonsense. I have SAS off. I'm like, why is it doing that? Rather than do that, which we obviously still can do in a second here. Hide that for a second. And then immediately bring it back because I don't know how much this is going to take. What is that going to take? 500. Yeah, okay. So we could get into an orbit and do like a planned descent with this rather than just kind of plop it in. So that is probably what we should do here. Let's get these two to change spots. Okay, we'll just go until we gas out here, which is pretty close to that. Yeah, periapsis of like 30, 31, something like that. 889. Yeah, close enough. And that is what we'll call mission complete. So we'll keep it in retrograde. Let's go right before, because I don't technically care, you know, if we're even following this. We just need to get slowed down. Or I guess sped up if you want to get particular about it. Alright, that being said, this has to work because we're going to be out of gas. So here we go. Periapsis pin, since they're going to swap positions here. What I probably should do, like everything I do is just to like, you know, oh, I just want more money and more science so I can make more planes. Like, just play sandbox and make planes. Why do you keep doing this? But that's not the point. On my previous playthroughs, I don't remember getting out to many like far off planets. I know that's a super large surprise based on how well we're doing here. Okay, I was a little concerned that that was gonna not make it, but we did it. We did it. Plane work on another planet too. Yeah, I've not. I remember building SSTOs and being like decent enough at them, even to the point of like flying missions with them and stuff. Not just like getting them there and then getting back out. I remember doing like a refuel station. I think. I think it was just over Kerbin, and I would just deliver to it if I remember right. So not that, it was like, I didn't have like a mining operation or anything like that going on. Not that I remember anyway, but I mean, that's the goal on this playthrough, is not only to get back into it again. Re-entry, playing the 2 hours of re-entry is honestly what made me like miss this game and be reminiscent of it to come back. I think we're not going to get anything out of these, but okay, 2.3, we'll take it. Yeah, nothing and nothing. So it kind of is just to get me somewhat proficient with it again, and then just kind of have some fun as we get through it. But become less crap with every launch is the main goal. Now to make sure that this is on a crashing trajectory before I ditch it. I haven't instilled this rule on myself, but I think I will, especially after we start getting like some satellite launches going and stuff, that if we leave junk in space, we have to go get it eventually. All right, we'll see how she handles the heat. I think it's pretty good. But yeah, realistically, we just need that to drop down. I don't foresee us leaving and going back into orbit again. Yeah, maybe we will. We'll see. There's 2 minutes of slowing down here. I know there's some quick, you're at this periapsis versus this apoapsis. When is it going to be like unrecoverable? When are you going to actually splash down? Keep an eye on that 10 meter there. We are slowing down, but as we get thicker, we'll just have to watch that. The game physics work is weird as soon as it's far enough away, which isn't far at all. The parts have no physics at all. Oh yeah, they do kind of like despawn almost, don't they? We're still good. Okay. Yeah, we can ditch it. Alright. No, the Science Junior. No. That's funny. I don't think I have a heat shield on the bottom of the Science Junior on this one. I think I did that exact same thing the last re-entry attempt with this bad boy. Pretty sure that's what just took place there, but that's all right. I mean, I also have time up too, so that might have had something to do with it, but more realistically, I think it's a Science Junior splody that took place. Yeah, I know, but nobody wants to watch this descent with nothing memorable happen except for the pod going crazy. Yeah, there's like Sid, you obviously know more than I do about it, but just like listening to Matt Lown videos and stuff, they get so far apart from each other, right? And it just like stops if it doesn't have a probe core where you can go take control or at least like change perspective to it. They just kind of stop existing so they can crash and it doesn't stay in orbit and blah 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 blah, if I'm not mistaken on that. Okay, lost the Science Junior, which is a bummer. I think that was like 50 science, but we've got the goods. We've got the crew reports, the EVA report, so it should be all right. Let's do build a giant spin launcher and put it on the Minimus. I've seen some crazy stuff. Like I know, and especially on the modded side, like the parts that you can do some cool stuff with. I wanted to keep it strictly stock Kerbal, but I might end up going with some mods and stuff. I just hate when you put mods on, especially like visual mods that don't really add anything else to the the mechanics of the game, and then it like breaks, and you're like, oh, I don't know why it's doing that. Only reason it works is because it's so tall the bottom of it doesn't do physics. So he's got like this thing that just renders out essentially, and it's like, oh, it's fine, do whatever you want with it. All right, well, a semi-successful lunar flyby. We'll have to remember. I don't have to remember. That's why I always check. I always check all the experiments when we're doing something, because stuff like that will happen, and I'll forget that we didn't get a high orbit materials-based study. But contracts complete. At least some science acquired. Not all of it that we wanted, but that's all right. Successful splash. Come and get me. Now, we only needed 90 for the heavy rocketry. There was some head scratching going on in the room when that was what my goal was. There's 100 more, so 222. Okay. 2 experience gained. Now, I wanted to check. Obviously, we don't want to blast all our money on more than 12 Kerbals, since that's not a thing. Somewhere, where was the ability for... That's obnoxious. I want to scroll. Oh, okay. Well, let's just scroll down. To take surface samples. There it is. Okay. Obviously, we're not there yet. Let's see what we can do with our newfound science. See what we can waste things on. So plain stuff is next. We don't need supersonic. Okay, 160. And we can't go that high with stuff anyway. So we've got to make do with what we've got, essentially. Which any capable person with an understanding of aerodynamics, you know, maybe someone who does it for a living, should be able to do this. I think I'm going to crack into this bad boy, and we'll replace the gear on our current plane with the retractables. They should be able to take a little bit better of a hit than the garbage 172 gear that we've got. Let's do that. We know we're going to do it because we want the landing bits for our lunar lander at some point here anyway. This is 2 passengers, isn't it? It is. So I'm going to do that as well, so we can bring scientists with us on our expeditions. Plus having RCS obviously is a benefit. And we'll probably end up doing the lunar cam. We have... No, we don't have docking ports, do we? When does that come into play? General, advanced... Don't even know if this is in the right spot for it. Anyway, kind of irrelevant. Eventually we're going to need, and kind of right now we need the electrics to be able to do the solar panel bits. But obviously we've got a lot of trips to make up to the moon and some plain stuff that will get us some cash and whatnot. General construction comes with another pod option. Oh yeah, for the 2 in the back, right? Yeah. I already grabbed the one with the 2, didn't I? Or did I just blab about it, not actually click it? Okay, that's the cockpit, the inline. Where did I see that? Okay, there. Yeah, and I don't really need RCS for the moon. We get 3 inside that bad boy as well. We'll hold off. We'll hold off on making that decision. I think this is probably where I'm gonna go rather than this, just because I don't need RCS yet, and we've got the the reaction wheel already. So this isn't that big of a benefit for us. The thing after it, I think, is Dockers. Yeah, because I'm looking at the Lunar lander can, the Mark 1. Where was that? Here? Yeah, here. And I'm like, well, if it only takes one, but I want our science homies to go with, then I'm gonna need to be able to dock back up if I were to use that for... Well, there's Dockingport Jr. and that'll do for slapping the Moonlander back into it. I also could just, like, port the guys over. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think for now, though, we've got the goods necessary to mess around with plane stuff. What's in propulsion systems? That's kind of garbage in comparison to the Terra. That's for smaller stuff, yeah. Little solids. Okay, I'm not worried about that yet. Obviously that one's helpful, but heavy, I was laughed at when suggesting it for the moon. This is obviously is going to be better to smack some golf balls. I find it funny that this, like, the experiment control station, but, like, you can't do anything with that until you get where? Is it here? Where you get all the, no? Anyway, further down the line for all the little EVA experiment kits. Alright, stop looking at science. You've said you're not going to spend it. Quit messing around with it. Now, let's do a save. We didn't orbit. Don't lie. We can lie to each other, but let's not lie to ourselves. Alright, so that's been accomplished. Now let's really embarrass ourselves and show our complete lack of Kerbal Space expertise. Now, I don't remember where we left off with this guy. I think it's okay. I don't think it's spectacular, though, is the problem. Okay, I was about to say, symmetry is not on, but I'm nearly positive that was good. Let's rip these bad boys off. Put our new toys on. No, I did like it before. I hate realizing too late that your symmetry is garbage. It's one of those things where I wish it would, like, ding at you. Like, hey, dummy, don't forget. Alright, that's probably potentially going to tail strike. Maybe. But at least to get something flying, I don't really care yet, because this this thing has never successfully landed. And yes, we'll blame this thing. And someday I'll get those controls right. Probably not, though. Alright, that's quite excessive, so let's make that somewhat more realistic. These can probably come forward a little bit too, but let's see what we got. Our jet-powered Cessna 172. Sid, what system do you play this on? Are you PC or are you playing it on console? I don't know. Is it on both consoles? I don't even know. I know some people have it on PlayStation, but I didn't put any lights on it. Oh, it does have lights in the gear. Okay. I like how this one's like, hey, that's backwards. PC. Oh, so you really know how I'm messing stuff up. Let's go. I'm gonna try it off the runway too with the newer gear and see how much better of a job it does. There's no messing stuff up in KSP. I love it. Watch me play a little bit longer. You might change your tune on that. Okay, all right, not too bad. How's our stability? Pretty good. Thankfully, Kerbals don't feel... Oh, that's just cold, Sid. That's cold. You little green guys have no feelings? Alright, dial it back. I don't need to get crazy here. It handles... okay. Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Let's see. Climb, please. Because next step, I also can reduce the weight on this bad boy quite a bit, at least for the time being, until I start getting to places and seeing what's what. I might just empty that main tank kind of completely, really. Oh yeah, that's right, I have to be in the tracking station to see where those contracts are for the flybys. I never cleared all this stuff out. First flyby. Okay, escaping gravel influences. Gravitational influence. I didn't realize that was a world first there. Like that. Explode them on. Explode them on. I probably should have checked for other contracts too before I was going messing around with other stuff, but here we are. I'm like old man squinting at the runway, and it looked like that is the runway, and I'm like, I'm nearly positive that that is not what that is. Oh, that's right, yeah, you actually have to be in the vicinity of the airfield before they call it different. It would be cool if when you activated navigation, and I get it, right? It's not like a plane flying game, but if it would do a little better job at like getting you lined up on the runway and stuff. That's going to drive me crazy, just sitting there looking at that. I might have to flip it just for the sake of doing so. No, that is the runway, isn't it? I'm like, look at that stretch of beach. Drop the gear to slow us down a touch. Let's crack that on as well. Some runway lights would at least be nice. Yeah, give me some 7 clicks on CTAF here. No, okay. Yeah, I was right the first time. Be prepared for many, many incessant keyboard clicks. Stomping of keys. Yeah, give me some approach lights here. Come on, guys. Alright, speed's pretty good. I shouldn't have done this at night. That was also not a good idea. Pull up here, so let's get a little more in. Get back out. Alright, we can glide it in from there. Presumably. No, don't keep flying. Okay, okay. Okay. Yeah. There we go. That was the intent all along. Easy, easy. Alright, besides the over-controlling and the fact that we have stubby little not great wings, I would say that wasn't too shabby. Okay, I was about to say, I didn't consider the fact that he has nothing to hold on to whatsoever. And get your butt back in there. Alright, I think it's necessary that we do a return flight and do this properly. Do a little stop and go. Short delay on the runway. I'm gonna hold down like short field style. Okay, about 60 meters per second is kind of like short field takeoff. Thrust requirement, we'll call it. score, Twitch check-in. Oh, okay. Saved it. Don't look away for that long. I don't recommend it. I swear the real thing isn't as bad as this is. Well, I don't know. I guess I've never been in the back when I'm you know, not. Actually, that line is pretty helpful. That communication line. You know you're south of the runway there without even being able to see it. I wish this were slightly more stable because I'd love to just speed it. I guess I can. That's funny. When you speed it up is when it's like, you know, super stable relatively. I guess I can wait until she's on a 270 there because that'll be looking straight down the runway at that point. Yeah, climb right before landing. That's what you want to do. That puts that procedure in place. This is a little preemptive, but we'll be able to fix it after the fact. Well, I guess the other thing I'm not thinking about is that's 270 to the Space Center, not necessarily like from the runway. It's pretty close though. It's pretty close. Yeah, I wish you could, and I know like the mods again, like mech jab and stuff like that, you can put it like just hold horizon and stuff like that. It'd be nice if you could do some of that stuff prior to. Obviously Jeb is not super experienced yet, so cart before the horse, if you will, but yeah, let's get a little better aligned here and take it back out of time warp, acting like we're good enough for that. I like how there's no speed limit on the gear too there, like just whenever you want. Just flop those out there, it'll be fine. I yearn for the day that I can do like a stable, constant, decelerating, descending approach in this game. And not, you know, throwing a ton of thrust right at the last second because I'm about to smack into the ground. Oh, the spin up time. At least that's realistic. Frogfoot build next. I don't know that I know what Frogfoot is. Oh, okay. That wasn't too bad. I was like, despite blowing up at the last second here, but we just lost the tail engine. That's not a big deal. You'll have to share what you mean by Frogfoot build. I'm intrigued. We're going to be goofy, and I'm actually going to taxi it in. I know that's obnoxious, but it only seems proper. Man, the difference on the brakes on this gear and the stick gear too is crazy. Okay, so we need some wing assistance for sure. Not the cleanest of maneuverability. But overall we have a viable plane here. I think I'm going to angle the wings just ever so slightly, increase the angle of attack so we can kind of get a little bit more of that nose up stability. Frogfoot is like Russian A-10 with turbos instead of like jets. I feel like it's extremely unlikely that I don't know what you're talking about, but for some reason the name escaped me, so I guess in retrospect means that I didn't know what you were talking about. But I'm with you. Now I got you. Okay, before SU-25, it's funny, like, you would think that I'd be like a big plane enthusiast, But even just like seeing interesting discovery, even seeing like planes out on the ramp, I'm terrible. Like there's very few things, unless it's the stuff that I've flown, that I can point out like, oh, that's this plane, that's this plane. So especially when you go international, I have no idea most of the time. Rendezvous capabilities. Okay, well, we're not there yet. I'm definitely not going to take that. I don't even think we picked the coupler stuff. So, the docking ports rather. Bring Moonstone back with you. What I need to do is how high can I get this plane to go in its current state? So 19.3, 18.7. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. But being able to take contracts like this would be ginormo. So let's try this out. Oh, let's do tracking station first, because I need to get a good idea also of how far we need to go. So how far and how high, kind of in two different tests, if you will. I think the early ones are pretty close to you. Because are these below 18.7 and then above 19.3? So yeah, I think that's two of those. I thought maybe it gave you the VIP ferry locations also, but I guess not. Not a big deal. Okay. So not far, but high. Relatively speaking. So let's pop in here again. Take some fuel out of that center tank. And then we'll... The problem is that's rooted to that. It doesn't matter. I was going to say, I don't really want the engines to take this rotation. But I'm going to do it ever so slightly. Realistically, that's it. And then I think we'll just pop those back down. I don't know if there's a way to make sure that's parallel, but it's got to be pretty darn close. Yeah, the light on this is gonna bother me, so we're gonna pop this. We'll do it the lazy man way. I don't actually remember why, or if there was even a decent reason why I did that in the first place, but hang on a second. What? That's extremely confusing to me. The intent, that's why I did it. Because this is technically the proper direction. That's goofy. Nose gear on a small plane, which is obviously the intent of this, that is supposed to retract into the windstream. That's not a very great design. I didn't know this clipped through either, and I can't stand when stuff just looks goofy like that. How often are we looking in the intake, but okay. That's potentially going to cause... No, I think rotating the wings probably helped on that a little bit. Not thrust, we know that. Yeah, we could kick those back a touch also and give it a little bit better arm there, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I was about to say, this should be negligible. I mean, that's fine. That's what gets lighter. So it actually will be more controllable as it gets lighter, which is good. So we'll leave that where it is. A little more rigidity during takeoff's not a terrible thing. Okay. Next move, obviously, is just to engine up again, but we're going to see... She's going to get a promotion. Could have started with a 150, but here we are. It's just an altitude test is next. Well, first stability, right? Since we did make some slight alterations there. But then how stable is this bad boy? Okay, it's a little it's a little heavy in the behind, and tucking that gear in was not a great decision. So even though we'll be looking at the light in our face, we could just move those back also, but that'll make rotation a little bit more difficult either. Or also, rather. Stop it. Alright. Behave yourself. Okay. Peanut plane. I need my Red Baron scarf. I don't think you were referencing that, Peanuts, but that's what I thought of. That looks better. Just get on, get on. Yeah, that rear-facing light. It's kind of funny how it, connects all those together, though. It looked like a peanut. It should rotate slightly earlier. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit of the same, actually. No stability. Second. Let's go horizon just to make sure we're not fooling ourselves. Try a stable speed here. ESI is still climbing, but that's okay. I mean, realistically, I'm not going to nitpick this thing. It's pretty good. Yeah, she is starting to nose over there after a second, but alright. Let's see. Climate V2 here, if you will. What can we get this thing up to? Assuming... See, that's the best way to test that. Are you static or dynamically stable? Is just to throw it in prograde, and if you continue to come down like that, then yeah, it still needs a little bit of work. Jeb, you're not very good at this. I'm disappointed. Can't be Sid's fault this time. It must be Jeb's. As soon as I say that, though, I'm drinking tea and not touching this, and it's looking pretty good. Yeah, we're not going to be anywhere near the 18K we're going to need here. Just kind of directional. I'll let do whatever it wants, but yeah, she's already losing it. We'll see, though. We'll see what kind of new heights our 182 can take us to. As we soar further and further into the skies here, which that's pretty realistic. I don't know anything about the actual inner workings of like the code or anything like that of their aerodynamic model, but seeing it, kind of do its thing in action, where it's like, no, this is like the service ceiling of this aircraft. Like, you're gonna slow down unless you pitch down. This is not very realistic, though. This is kind of like, this is definitely still following like the orbital mechanic bit. Like, it's very much like, you're past your apoapsis, and it's like, that's not how planes work. Anyway, blab at you about the upcoming. Since we missed back in My Day Friday and Saturday Z this weekend, we'll be hitting those up normal schedule this coming weekend, I guess, and the next weekend. But also tomorrow, we'll be doing a Before the Window Closes, tomorrow and the next day, actually. Tomorrow for Astroneer, and then on Tuesday, for, what are we playing? Starship Troopers. Very ridiculous movie. Everybody who's read the book is always like, excellent book. And I started it, and like, sure, it's better than the movie, but they're not even remotely the same thing. This is not the plane we're going to do these observations with, because I can't sit there and keep yanking back on the stick just to get it to get up there. I don't doubt that it could have some more altitude, but not like this. So, if you're interested in Astroneer or seeing a game played for the first time, which is kind of what you're witnessing tonight anyway, come on by tomorrow night or the night after. And then back on normal schedule Friday, Saturday, Sunday, starting this weekend. Gonna alter the schedule up quite a bit after that, after this coming weekend, due to the holiday and such. The impending holiday season. No plans on this end, but... And I thought for a brief moment, I was like, some people aren't going to want to do anything for, you know, Christmas, Hanukkah, list other holidays around that time of the year that I am ignorant to here. Maybe they do want to come hang out, but I figure I won't be missed too much if we take a little bit off. Okay, so service stealing this aircraft, 13,000 meters. 13K. Now I'm thinking not so much. Maybe. I don't think it's a factor of the thrust on this little on the peanut. Man, Sid, you got it, bud. You nailed it. Yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. Not so much thrust, but it's these wings. Very rudimentary, very boring. Very like, here you go, I'm a wing. So I think it's funny how it's like these winglets. So if this were like a legit winglet, it would be, well, let me put it where it's trying to put it. Did I not do symmetry again? I didn't, but I don't think we're keeping this anyway, so. You know, that would be like that. But I'm pretty sure these have, yeah. Which they shouldn't. Like, this should look like that. You know what? Now I'm curious. Why are you doing this to me? You were just placed, just fine. Well, maybe not just fine, but... I kind of want to see what this thing does. If anything successful, that is. I love the plop on the runway too. Like, you know, game. You know what the floor of this bad boy is. It's funny that the winglets don't know what to do, since that's like where they should be, but it's not doing what they would be doing. Almost sounds like it's like a compressor stall when I pull off the runway like that. Okay, can we speed this up? Or is it just like do crazy nonsense? Well, that's definitely touchy, but that's to be expected. Okay, get it close enough. Just kind of keep pulling up here. Get this back kind of stable. There we go. Anyway, that's not what those were intended, so I don't know why I'm still like trying to mess around with that. It's not real life. You don't need to pretend like it's real life. You can just play the video game. Okay. Now, people always come up with like such cool... Ooh, are we ready for swept wing? I don't think we are, but let's see what we can do. Such cool, like, not even just wing designs, but just plain designs in general. And I'm always like, this looks good, right? No. No, it doesn't. You're making garbage. Stop garbaging up your planes. Okay, this is unrealistic, but I'm gonna drop these into oblivion, basically. Now that I'm thinking about it, though, there is something to be said about the thrust capabilities of this bad boy. You're gonna be a big pain in the butt, aren't you? You just don't want to go into that engine. I don't know why that will slide along there just fine, but this one, there we go, okay. I was gonna say, but this one just doesn't want to play nice. Don't forget the gear. Don't forget the gear. You can hit the button 14 or 15 times. Eventually you'll figure out how to do this. Okay. Again, maybe slightly excessive, but it's all right. Because I don't think... Yeah, all I've got... Oh, here, okay. I was like, wait a second, what? That wasn't enough to check the size. Grab another one. Because if I throw this bad boy on the back... Let's just kind of manhandle this thing for a moment here. Yeah, we don't need big, ridiculous nonsense. That's what I had on there, right? Yeah. And this was Mark 1. That's... Wait, what's the difference? 275, 225? Oh, tiny. Little mini. Good with one. Put it where it needs to go. Let's... Yeah, I was about to say, this is going to need adjustment. Shift back 2. Oh, I hate the way that looks. I don't know. Does this give you any indication of air flow requirement? I don't think so. Well, regardless, we'll slap another intake on, or rather, a first intake. That would have worked out perfectly there, huh? Plop that on. Let's maybe do this slightly more intelligently. Okay, I think this... I haven't been paying attention to delta V. I know that's not, like, the proper measure, obviously. I'll call you the Peanut Plus. But at least it gives you an idea of, you know, it has more thrust in general. I don't think my goal of achieving one of these contracts is going to happen this evening. I was about to say, can you even get off the runway? What's going on over there? little fire on the Space Center. Oh, I didn't put the pitch back in the wings, so there's that also. I don't like. And I know this is a me thing, right? Like, that should work just fine, but I don't like having control surfaces do unrealistic things. I know, it's a video game. Shut up and play the video game. Guess I could have used that velocity climb rather than drop it down, but here we are. Yeah, I think with 15 minutes left, our dreams of getting to one of these spots, which I don't, yeah, I was about to say, I think you have to tell the tracking station. That would be a very interesting move to try and, oh, you can't while you're in atmosphere and moving. But to tell the tracking station to hold those so we can keep track of those, I think that would be better, because one of those said below 17.3 kilometers. So rather than fight this thing to death, let's bring it back We'll put the angle on those wings. Let's see, what else did we need to do? That's okay. Did we empty this tank? We kind of did. What we need to do is have that one emptier first. Yeah, there we go. That'll even that out a little bit. Might be a little bit of the nose down moment that we're getting too. It shouldn't be too bad. Alright, anyway. Task at hand. And the good part there is that the engines are mounted on the fuselage, so that didn't give us that annoying rotation bit. I think that's all I was thinking about doing. Oh, I wanted to change the control surfaces. Now, I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do as far as Kerbal Space Program is concerned, but it makes me feel better. I also hate this wing because I don't like that it's not like... I like a good T-tail. T-tails just look good. And I know there's some stuff we could do to make that happen, especially when we get like that smaller angle and do like one of these things. Anyway. Stop wishful thinking. Let's go over, check these contracts again. Yeah, here. Above, below. See, Jerpont's Solitude. Crew report in flight below. Let's catch all the belows here. I don't think this one tells you. Keep him alive and show him a good time. And that's obviously another one, plane-wise, that those become very easy to just jump in and get some cash and reputation and stuff. Atmospheric surveys, above and above. See, there's a below, but then you've got a bunch of other aboves. Oh, those are doable, though. Interesting. Okay. That's a really good one, too. Let's see where those are, too. I'm assuming since it's so much money that it's not super close together. Okay, so we need to check those. And was it this one? Jerpont's Solitude. And the 2 areas and the 2 zones. I think the 2 areas and the 2 zones were the ones that were quite a bit out there. Yeah, I think that's these. Area, zone. Those like different ones? That's kind of weird how there's... I don't even remember seeing a sector, but it's all the Rokia ink, so I'm pretty sure that's it. So I think those are doable with this little plane, especially if we launched from, well, look at the difference. I'm like, especially if we launched from island, we'd have so much more fuel. But this Jerpont Solitude, that's below 18.7, so that for sure is a thing we need to nab real quick. And I think maybe just like proof of concept, just to make me feel better about how this plane is gonna perform. Okay, take a crew report in flight below 18.7. So that one is, provided we don't crash, is kind of a slam dunk. Okay, I don't think we have anything further to do with our little guy here. I do need to watch some more videos on kind of some, especially airplane. I don't think there's a ton of people that I can, this sounds awful, stand to listen to. Get those lights on. We'll find somebody. Oh, you're such a... Why are you fighting me so much? Something that I've changed. I think the elevator authority is, yeah, it's not enough for something not happy all of a sudden. Oh man, I really don't like doing that, but I'm thinking at this point, too tiny control surfaces for this little guy. I think those work no matter what, though. I don't think that's a size issue. Yeah, that's too small for this thing. That's what we've got on there, right? Tail fin? Yeah. Guess I'll tuck the mains in a little bit more. That's really not like the solution for that, though. That's more of the issue. I don't really have a good point of rotation for it. This I remember was okay, but let's just grab the whole wing and just kind of slide it up. See what we can do about that. That's a little better. I don't remember where we kept our weight either. Okay, yeah, we took it out of the back, which honestly that's probably hurting this a little bit too, but off we go. I love how I've, you know, done this to myself by calling today to the moon, and then not accomplishing that, and like quickly abandoning that goal too. It's like, okay, it's playing time. Are these red? What's... Okay, that's what's going on. Is there like... I think like the gear is interfering with it? Something was going on. That was interesting. Oh, the engines. Weird, that's the first time we've seen that. Yeah, I think the engines are heating that up too much. Okay, we need to do this. You know, what we're here for. Get that speed back up in a second. Head off to the south. It's funny because, like, at first the controllability of this is garbage, but realistically I can hold this down and it flies like it's supposed to. Well, not too early. Jeb, you have your parachute on, right? Yeah, I hate how I just can't solve this nose heavy issue. I almost need to throw... I hate having canards on everything, but at least in this game I seem to remember they took a lot of problems away. So that's not a realistic, you know, thing to do to solve an issue, but might have to do that. Alright, we're going to speed up a little bit here. This is slightly risky, obviously, but I kind of want to take that notice out, but as soon as I take that notice out is when I'm going to do something catastrophic. I don't know how this thing lands either, so I probably should have done a quick landing in it before I just take Jeb out on a mission. Gore, Twitch check-in? I appreciate you, man. We might have to chat about my intentions, though. I think you are very good at helping folks become very popular on Twitch and grow their channel. I'm here to have a good time, brother. So as long as you're enjoying yourself, that's a success to me. But I appreciate your efforts nonetheless. Okay, all of a sudden we haven't changed our altitude much. Okay, cancel that. Get our crew report. There we go. Contract complete. Let's go home. I guess I can kind of let it descend. I don't really need to be climbing more than 6,000. And realistically, we're going to be landing the proper way. The direction we took off in. Yeah, I've got to get... I think I can ditch these engines. I really don't think I need them. Especially since this particular plane isn't going to go, you know, above 18 or so. I don't even think I'd get like above 12 or 13. So as long as there's just a take a crew report below, this is our guy. This intake is probably also a larger issue than I realized. It's forward of the center of mass, so it's also kind of making that pitch down moment take place, but... No, this is goofy, but... The other thing I wish you could almost do, and maybe there's a way you can do it, but I wish there was a way you could free look on the nav ball, just a little bit. Because like when this goes over to 090, which is where we want it, when we're lined up at the runway, there's no way to see that unless you're turning in that direction. Again, I'm sure there's mods and stuff that'll do all this stuff that I'm incessantly whining about, but what are you gonna do? Alright, let's speed up again here. Yeah, we'll just ditch those little engines. I could just reposition them and make them look slightly more realistic instead of slapping them in the middle of the wing. It's kind of funny how that caused problems to begin with, honestly. Okay, I don't care if they turn red, even though it's weird. But as soon as we see that temperature gauge come up... See, like, right here's what I'm talking about. If I didn't have line of sight of this, it would be kind of a pain to not know. You know, you're about to line up on that runway pretty well, anyway. Yeah, I kind of like how it's kind of crap, because constantly pulling back on it makes you do a relatively realistic turn. It's kind of cool, but obviously that's a design issue. It's not a very good plane. As long as we don't die right now, it at least had done what we needed it to do. There is a hissing noise that is persistent in my right ear. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like... No, it's still going. I kind of think my headphone just pooped out. I was like, it was doing it. No, okay. Maybe it did. When I mute the game, it stops, but that'll be interesting. It might be new headset time. Like, as soon as I put the gear down, it sounded like, you know, something had sprung a leak. Alright, can you pull this off? It's already looking like it's not going to be very good. You can do it. You can do it. Pull it up, Jim. Pull it up. There we go. I hit the view button and it scared me so bad. Yeah, I think that intake is causing a lot of weight issues. Oh, that's it. It's okay. You got it. You got it. You still got it. You still got it. I don't know how that worked. Perfect. Well, you know what I mean. Good enough. There needs to be somewhere between good enough, okay, and perfect. Like, we need a wider range in there. I like how data gathered, but, like, nobody cares. I don't know if you can look... I mean, if you can, it'd be here. Oh! Did I do this? I don't think I did this. I think I put the effort in, but we didn't actually do it. Oh, yeah, there we did. I didn't actually change it over, though. I kind of forgot all about that I had put the effort in to make that flag and then didn't use it. Okay, let's see the difference in kind of that random, you know, it's not that it's random, but the delta V that we technically don't care about, 48. That's funny. They were causing more issue than help. Now this intake, I'd really like it behind that. I know that's silly looking, once again, but... And I think I need to raise the arm, or increase the arm, rather. It does get me slightly concerned of the gear. And maybe let's do a slight bit more of rotation here. I don't necessarily want that to be kind of an off-center vector, but something needed to give there. Okay, let's just give that a real quick 30-second. Can we even get it to rotate? I don't understand this, like, crazy... Oh, I don't have SAS on, so that's maybe one thing. Now I have to, like, pull up just to save ourselves. Come on, you can do this. Ramp up. Ooh, no! Oh, cleared it. Cleared it, baby. Yeah, I think it's also kind of a control surface issue. Well, that was inevitable, but yeah, that this one needs a revamp. So Peanut Plus is not fantastic. I think Peanut was, well, without these. And then we can ditch those, as we've seen. Let's give this a whirl. Oh, this is the smaller engine also. That's all right. I think what I need to do, realistically, is get, like, super crazy on the plane design. Instead of just, like, slapping these lame, straight wing... Like, I need to get a little more creative with it, which is not a strong suit of mine, realistically, but it'll be alright. Yeah, this tiny engine on the back is probably going to have some issues doing much of anything, realistically. I mean, she's okay. I did kind of want to do a flyby of our flag. I could have just slapped, you know, the flag piece on here. Actually, I don't think I unlocked that yet, but... I don't know how much we're going to be able to get turned around there for it. There it is there. See that flag in all its glory. Yeah, that's cool. It's so funny when they're, like, in a game, they're just like, hey, let them put their own graphics in it. And that very simple act makes you just like, look at that cool flag. I made that flag. Yeah, this might be okay with the bigger engine. I think that might be a try with this. That is not something we'll knock out tonight. Let's throw the gear back out. I mean, it feels more like... This feels probably the most like actually flying something so far out of all the iterations of plane here. Plus it's light, which is good, obviously. Yeah, that's how you want to fly your pattern. The noises help, I promise. Okay, okay. A little bouncy. That's funny, I did not turn it in, it just was like ready to head down the little road there. I don't even know where that one leads to. They just kind of all randomly connect. Successful flight. I actually don't know how much that costs, so I'll be curious to see. Recovery of a vessel. So 7870. How much does that little plane take to throw out into the sky all the time? Little peanut. We lost $5 in fuel. That's not too bad. Not too bad for a little experiment. Okay, so if we can remember this, we're not going to do that. Let's not play that game. That's exactly how I don't put stuff properly. Now, I like this tail. I just wish it would fit, you know, without looking ridiculous, this engine. Oh, that's kind of funny. I didn't realize that wasn't attached to this. It's attached to that tank. I think what we are going to do, though, is make this look a little wonky and push one into the other. I know that's nonsense, but the longer it gets, the crazier it controls, I think. That intake should be enough for that engine, so we'll see what's up with that as well. Does this have a little bit of a cant to it? It does, just so slightly. Al! 07, my man? How you doing? Okay, center lift is rear now, though, because of that heavier engine. Sorry, Caps. That's all right, bro. You can shout at me. Yeah, we definitely need that to be in a different spot here. I appreciate you coming in, my man, but we're closing it down soon for the night. I can't say you've missed a whole lot. 13K for that. What'd I miss? What you did miss, we did our moon flyby. We saw me struggle with building a craft that will hopefully get to a lunar orbit. That's pretty much it. We did a couple attempts to launch. We did a moon flyby. We grabbed some moon orbit science, not orbit, but, you know, in its sphere of influence. And I've been messing around with planes. This is kind of how every night of these ends up. Kind of ever since. Well, there goes your thrust. Let's see how you pull this one off. Can you get back to the runway, Jeb? Nope, you're going to land on an angle here. All right, good recovery. Good recovery. I'm proud of you. Good job. One more attempt. I made a MiG-21. That's awesome, dude. I love when seeing people make stuff that's like, even if it looks cool and doesn't fly, but I can only imagine that you were successful in making it fly as well. What I need to do, let me do this real quick. Let me throw the brakes on this. It's going to roll off the end of the runway. I have a little Discord, and I don't like to make it seem like I'm like, please join my Discord, but like at the same time, that's awesome and I want to see it. So I'm going to pop my Discord link in chat here, if I'm smart enough to do this. Yes, like a dart. Hey man, if darts fly too, so it's all good. There is my Discord invite in Twitch chat, and I'm going to throw it over in YouTube chat too if anybody has any interest in that. There is nothing there, essentially. Just me talking to some guys about DayZ and playing games and stuff like that. But jump on in, and then, you know, what you guys bring to the channel, the Discord channel, will help me grow what kind of things people care about and want to see and stuff like that. So, Al, if you will, if you have a desire to, slap me a picture of your MiG in there. I would love to see it. I'll ooh and on about it and be extremely jealous on my little garbage. I don't even know what this is anymore. This straight wings, tiny little jet forward intake nonsense. I really just wanted to see how stable this one was. That one actually might be, that's cool. The moon over the horizon there. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. The button for aerodynamic forces overlay, which I've never even messed with. See, that's, your tail should not be making you roll. Anyway, is the same button as Steam Screenshot, so that doesn't look for a very good screenshot there, but man, this thing is blazing fast all of a sudden. Let's see if we can get any semblance of altitude with this thing. Yeah, but anyway, you know, when the people are like, oh, if you start streaming, make a Discord, make a Discord, make a Discord. And that's not even why I did that. But then I started to tweak it a little bit. I was like, it's kind of dumb not to have a play. Like, the whole reason I do this, guys, is so that people will come hang out and talk about video games. That's the only thing I care about. I don't want to use the word never, right? But, like, if 500 people showed up tomorrow on Twitch, and they were like, congratulations for all your viewers, you're going to be an affiliate, click here, and we'll start playing ads, and you can make money. You guys don't want to watch ads. I mean, it's hard enough for, you know, there's so many options for you guys to watch and to get entertained out there. The last thing that you want is to sit in here and watch commercials while I play I'm terrible at playing, more accurately, video games. So, like, that doesn't make sense to me. YouTube, on the other hand, like, I'm okay with ads there because you're going to get them anyway with the long form stuff. As you're sitting here live, you're not watching a single ad. So again, that stuff doesn't make sense to me. I'm battling all this out just to tell you that I appreciate you coming out. And if you're here to talk about video games, if you're here to do anything video game related, then I want to have a chat with you. So hit me up in the Discord, and let's continue that chat. Alright, off the soapbox for now. We can talk about streamer philosophies at a later date. Or never again. Whatever you prefer. Okay, I don't know why I'm still, like, trying to see what's going on here. I got you. Thank you, Al. I appreciate that. By the way, I forgot, not that I forgot, I just haven't seen you since. Checking out your account, it brought a smile to my face to see all the GDI stuff on there. Big Command & Conquer fan, and I think at some point I might have to do a playthrough of that on the channel, because I love those games. Alright, this one it's better. Honestly, I think it's like it comes down to a wing design issue with stability at the higher altitudes. This engine's holding up pretty well. I mean, we're starting to lose the climb at this point, but I really should kind of keep notes on how high I can get each one of these, because Peanut can go to 13, so. Alright, let's see if we can rip this thing back home here. Oh. Maybe a little too aggressive? That's funny, it's still actually heading in the... Oh no, it's not. We're going backwards. We're flying this way. Can you get to prograde? There we go. Alright, now recover. You got this. You got this. Alright, so Peanut Plus, or Peanut Pro, I don't remember what it was called now, was a little better at maneuverability. I did kind of just like try and 180 this thing in like a second, but alright, there we go. Back to the horizon. Good job, Jeb. Where is Island Airfield? Because whether or not we can actually pull this off, we're going to attempt it. I don't know why I've been doing this stuff at night. That's such a dumb choice. Who likes to see? Okay. Now this... Yep, my brain is having a hard time processing that. We're faced west. Oh, Island Airfield, that's why. You know, the thing that's like directly in front of you. There's no way you're going to pull this off. But we're going to try. Can't go down and slow down, so do one or the other. Don't worry about air brakes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull out of this dive and still slow down. Oh, it's actually hanging in there. Okay, I didn't think we were going to pull that off, so that's something. I almost said pretty impressive. No, it's not. It's not. Good job. You did what the plane is supposed to do. Oh yeah, I was going to take the... Oh, I did. Why then does this show... I guess it's just forces. It's not necessarily a contribution to those forces. Alright, pay attention to your landing. Actually do something here. Oh, of course you had too much. We're gonna have to plop it. This would obviously be a go-around, but... Nope. If you don't go around, you go and die. By the way, I am Nomeo, aka Alpha Alpha Lima. I've called you Al because of your, obviously, phonetics there. But if you prefer Gnome, or Nomeo, then you got it, my man. I feel we have a landing here. I feel like this is achievable. As long as we don't let that speed up too much. We're a little too far north, though. There we go. Track that back in. Get that on 090. Oh, crab it in. Crab it in. It's funny how yawing doesn't really work. Oop, wrong way. How yawing would work. There we go. Come on, girl. Oh. You're still alive. And you're still alive. I was going to see if we could roll it over, but it's got just enough wing that that's not going to happen. I love how you can rock it back and forth, though. He's such a good pilot that without control surfaces... I do like it better when the lights are out, though. I think if we get out... Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. And then he gets knocked on his butt. Okay, if it didn't take 45 minutes, I'd run over there and plant a flag, but... As... What was her name? Sweet B? Sweet J? Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, was that a board? Did we actually get that? If he could get back in, that'd be sweet. Oh, just climb. Okay. If we were on Minimus or something, we could always bash that out of the way. I hope this isn't a permanent staple on the airfield. Like literally on the, like we'll have closed down the runway. Let me see if I can. Oh, it does go. Okay, good. There we go. Nice. What a waste of money of a flight that was, but let's recover it. Why not? Well, what a ridiculous session this has been. Goal somewhat achieved. I'm not going to claim that that counts. We went by the moon, not quite to the moon. So next time... Okay, this was Dock 2 ships, which we don't... Well, okay, I guess there's preparing you for a lunar landing, so that does make sense. I think it's so funny, though, that, like, we're going to continue exploring Kerbal. Rendezvous 2 ships. It's like, I don't have a need to do that at the moment. But it's like a, you know, a lunar landing practice. Okay, so I wanted to check real quick. Take a peek at what we're looking at for next time. There we go. I didn't even notice it was up there. That's why I didn't catch that we hadn't put it in there yet. We've got to take this bad boy and make it not awful. That's the goal. Did that not take? It did take. That's kind of funny. Altitude, 0 kilometers with a pressure 101 kilopascals. Sea level, all the exact same parameters, and delta V changes. Oh, okay, there. It actually took that time. Maybe because it was here before. Anyway, does that reset? Oh, staging. Got it. I remember my first time playing Kerbal Space Program. Anyway, next time, we need to make it at least into lunar orbit. We'll need to slap. That was the terrier, right? Yeah, okay. Let's not save that because we probably just messed it up. So next time we'll hit into orbit, grab some more science. We toasted our science junior on the way back from that last trip. So ideally, we'll throw the 2 Kerbal capsule on that bad boy, make it out there, take the scientist, and then make some science happen. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. I appreciate you. Tomorrow, we're going to hit up Astroneer, same time, 2-hour playthrough, bring it right up to the Steam return window closes and decide whether or not we're going to keep that bad boy or send it on back to the store. Tuesday, Starship Troopers Extermination, same song and dance, 2 hours of playtime on that, see what it's all about, and make a determination. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back into the same schedule. And I'll yak at you then for what's going on the week after, as it does slide back into the holiday season, as I yacked about earlier. But as the crickets chirp at you, we're going to call it good for Kerbal Space Sundays. I'm going to track down somebody that's streaming Kerbal Space right now for Twitch viewers. YouTube viewers, as always, I wish I could take you with me. And if you're watching this at a later time, I'm Elder B. Take care.